Hello, all you essential rollers. It was just joyful to be with you today. And so I'm up in my studio now. You can pan around a little bit. This is where I work. This is where I see patients. If you want to come in one-on-one, this is where it would be, up in my little tree house. But this is essentially what we did today, just working with the roller and a little bit with the tennis balls. And this will be quick, so you can pause it at any point and go, oh, I'm going to work on that now, and then let it run again when you're ready for the next thing. Remember the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, such a good landmark. Start right there. Support the weight of your head in your hands. Lift the hips up and roll those two South Americas, the back of the shoulder blades, right? So you're just working in there, keeping the hips and heart kind of level. And when you're ready to get over to one side, you'll just let the knees drift over to the side. Now that's going to get the back of my left shoulder blade. Right? Just going to show you this one side. You'll do both sides. Spend more time on the places that need it. And then I'm going to move over and get to the edge of my shoulder blade. See that little edge there? And then I'm going to drop my hips, bring my elbow down, support my head and my hands, stack my knees, and just work with the armpit. Right? A little bit up, a little bit down. Remember, you can pause anywhere and breathe. And then the front of the rib cage is another juicy spot to get to. And remember, we did this to get to that iliotibial band of the arm, right? That's not its real name, but it's kind of the same. So you can just work in there, palm up, palm down, and just work this area as well. After you've done that, that gets the upper part of the heart basket. You want to get the last four ribs down here. So bottom tips of the shoulder blades, again, but stay lifted through the head and shoulders. Keep the hips lower than the heart and get the last four ribs right in there. You can move the knees a little bit right and left, but don't spend too much time in here. Very vulnerable, very tender. And then you can start to soleil your way over the top. Notice I'm landing at the waist because I want to get the edge of my pelvis. You can have the knees in close. That's a lot easier. Knees out here is going to be a lot more dynamite sensation. Just really working to the edges of the pelvis, both sides. Whatever side needs it more, just spend your time there. After you've done that, then you can shift around until the roller is right behind the pelvis and the sacrum, and you can just go for it in here. You can make stuff up, do anything you want. Child's pose is nice here. That series of leg stretches, you know, you can stretch out the psoas like this. You can stretch out one hamstring at a time here, or you can do both of them, drawing the toes down toward the face. You can open the inner thigh either with the legs straight or with the knees bent. You can get into the deep rotators of the hip also by drawing in like this. So all those really nice stretches for the large muscle groups that attach the pelvis to the legs. This is a nice place to go in and do that little bit of manual work that we started with the psoas. Organ massage, the intestines, the stomach, the liver, up underneath the rib cage. Just working in here with softness, or maybe going in with a little bit more depth if you want to just really get a sense of, well, where is that psoas? We're just starting to get acquainted with it, more acquaintance as the workshop goes on. Just getting in, and you might start to feel how one side maybe needs more of your attention. So it's a really nice shape to just go in and work with it. Easy way off the roller is going to be like this. We'll do the legs a little bit. Remember, you can always do a little bit more in the hips, like so. Right? This is a nice place to work right here. Maybe even coming down on the forearm and getting in like that. But what we worked with today is just getting the front of the legs released all the way from the pubic bone to the patella, just all in here. And when you're ready, if you're really thinking, I'm going to take on that iliotibial band, come about halfway down the leg and then just press into the mat underneath your shoulder, and that will press you more to the side of the leg. Right? That's your way in. You can start working with this, and if it's super tight, see if you can breathe and maybe pause at different places. If you need to escape, it's easy. You can come right back here. But as it gets more doable, you can think about sneaking this knee up and trying to work like this. You can also work like this and really modulate the pressure. You can also, eventually, one day, I promise you, you can do this, right? And it's just no big deal. Now, the shins, we really talked about working with also, they're in here, right? You can just work like that. And really, you want to get the side of the shins, so really letting the hips sink over to one side and working like that. We talked about doing a little stretching after the shins, also maybe toes curled under and working out, stretching out the feet, you know, here or here, here or here, if this is tolerable. And then also stretching out the front of the ankle by just resting the butt on the heels. If there's not a lot of sensation there, you can draw the knees up onto the roller and really stretch out the front of the ankle. We did do, and I don't do it a lot myself, but if you're called, you can work with the back of the legs, the hamstrings, rotating in and out like this, and you can even work down into the calves, you know, like that, or like that. Back of the legs, if you're called. Now, we did a few things. That was everything we did with the roller except for standing, which I'll close with. But we did a few things to introduce these tennis balls. Number one, you can use them up here, excuse me, on the cervical spine in the depth of the curve, rotating around, letting them drift up to right where the skull meets the neck. This is such a good spot. You can roll up a little hand towel right here and put it in and just spend a lot of time right here. And then you can let them drift down more to the hump in the neck. Just working with the facet joints and seeing if you can get them a little bit loosened up in there. It's a nice place to do a jaw massage. Remember, tight lips, tight hips. So we'll close with the release by just taking those tennis balls, turning them this way and going, oh, one last thing for these hips. I put the lower tennis ball by the tailbone, and then I can just drift back and forth like so. Right? Remembering that we did some release of the psoas, and we also tuned in, well, okay, there's some breathing that goes with that. Just an introduction. I breathe in, everything gets long and open, and then on the exhale, the psoas comes closer to the spine. See if you take a few breaths. Inhaling, feeling nice length, and then exhaling, and really feeling the psoas snug up to the spine. That stability is what's going to serve you if you want to play a little bit with the roller and standing. We did close and play a little bit this way to work on our balance. You might find a wall or a kitchen counter, or you can come up on your roller on your feet. The very soft rollers really won't work for this. And play with finding your balance by using that exhale and hugging to center as a way of getting your balance. Now, once you feel like you have kind of dialed that in, you can play a little bit with, whoa, can I come over toward one leg and still balance? Can I come over to the other leg and still balance? And see if I can find something deep inside that's holding me up. So we played with that a little bit, and it's really a fun way to use your roller. So I think that about covers everything we did. More to come in February and March, and it was beautiful to be with you.